When the weather is beautiful, it's a great time to take pictures or shoot video. And in bright, sunny conditions like today, we're going to have to adjust our camera accordingly, whether we take still pictures or video. With still pictures, we adjust our shutter speed and aperture according to light conditions. With video, it's mostly controlling our aperture because our shutter speed stays fixed. And of course, our ISO for both video and still photography would probably be set to the lowest mount on a bright day like today. Now with video, being that I'm limited to just adjusting my aperture, you're sometimes stuck. Now there's one thing that you should look at if you're shooting video is a variable neutral density filter. Now there's lots of different types of filters, ND filters, ND2, ND4, ND8. I don't necessarily know what's going to be the best filter for a day like today. The beauty of a variable neutral density filter is you can adjust it to get the light just right. Because like the scene I'm shooting right now, I'm using an ND filter and I've got the camera, the aperture open all the way. Now I've done that so the background's kind of out of focus. Now I could have closed the aperture all the way down, but now everything from me to the background is going to be in sharp focus. Now I may not want that. And in some super bright sunny conditions, even stepping the aperture or closing it all the way down still may let too much light in, and you're going to need a neutral density filter. That's why today I'm using the Optex Variable Neutral Density Filter. It's not the most expensive neutral density filter on the market, but it's a great tool for shooting in conditions like today. Here's a scene I was just shooting, and I'm going to adjust the Variable Neutral Density Filter. I'm just going to turn it all the way open. You see the scene gets too bright, and then I can rotate the filter and it gets darker and darker, so I can adjust it just to where I want it. Let's take a closer look at the packaging. Now this is the Optex Variable Neutral Density Filter. Let's take it out of the pack here. It comes with this protective case, so you put this in your bag, your gadget bag, and it's always protected. And then we'll open it up here. What's great about the Optex Variable Neutral Density Filter is the whole idea that it's variable. See, as I rotate this ring here, the filter gets darker, so that allows less light to come through. As I turn it this way, it opens up and lets more light through. Again, some neutral density filters are fixed at 2, 4, or 8, but this is variable. I can adjust it anywhere I want so I can get the light just where I want it. So now I can concentrate on my camera settings to have it camera set where I want, and then I put the filter on there and adjust the light to get it just where I want it. Now what's also great about this filter, it has these indicator rings and actually has a lock. So when the filter's all the way open, it's in a lock position, or when it's all the way closed, it's also locked. Some neutral density filters can actually keep spinning, but the Optex one has these built-in locks, so it makes it so easy to use. Here's a scene showing with the neutral density filter on. Now if we remove the neutral density filter, we notice the picture gets very, very bright. That's too bright. But putting the neutral density filter back on, we can see how this is much better for capturing colors. The shutter speed and aperture haven't changed, but then by removing the filter, it is too bright. So by having the filter, you can adjust it just to where you want it. Here's a great example where you would use a neutral density filter. Now I'm shooting at 1/50th a second, and the aperture at f1.8, so the lens is fully open. And I've got the camera focusing on me, and because the lens is wide open, the background's kind of out of focus. That's the effect I want to have. Now let's shoot the same scene without the neutral density filter. All right, so I'm shooting exactly the same scene. Now the lens is set at f16, so the aperture is closed all the way down. Now you see the background is much more in focus. And that might be okay for some situations, but there is going to be other situations where you want to have just your subject in focus and then your background kind of out of focus or defocused. And on a bright day shooting video, that's going to be impossible without a neutral density filter. In the world of photography and video, there's always lots of nice to have. Nice to have a faster lens, a better camera, a lighter tripod, or whatever. But if you shoot video, especially in bright conditions like today, a variable neutral density filter is not a nice to have, it's a must have. There's no other way of getting around it, to getting those shots, because your camera is limited what it can do. The variable neutral density filter allows you to adjust the light just the way you need it so you can get that perfect video.